Okay, can I just give everybody 5 minutes so that more people can join? And then I'll start in 5 minutes. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Another one. Okay. Obis, can you hear me? Chat. Okay. No, I just said so that more people can join. Okay. Anyway, I think I'll just start now. Oh, am I mute? Oh, I'm not mute. I'm not mute. Yeah, people can hear me. People can hear me. Jesus Christ. You the same one. Hear me? What? You the same one. It's not now allowing me to talk. Eh? On Zoom. Okay, I need to know again. Okay, so I'm going to start now. Only sympathy thing. I'm confused again. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, you guys can hear me. Okay, I'm just going to start. I'm a bit frustrated, but yeah. Okay. Okay. So God, Jesus Christ. And if you know anybody who is still on Skills Kitchen, you guys can still go and you'll see us. We're also live on Skills Kitchen. So I just had to do both so that we could see everything. So I have to just get excited again. So anyway. Okay, so can we do, I don't even know. Hello everyone. Now this is well. Hi. Okay, so I'm just going to start, and it's just I feel so bad that a lot of people are not here, but I just have to go on. Maybe I should send out an email to everybody to just say, oh, come on here. I send out an email. Can you guys please give me 5 minutes to just quickly send an email to everybody? Okay, let me send out that email quickly. Okay, I'm coming back home, please. If you do not go, let me just quickly send down this email so that people don't miss it. Obvious. No, I'm just trying to send an email. I said it in the group. I want to send an email quickly to people. That one is network. Why won't I be bothered since 8 o'clock that we're supposed to start? Okay, I'm back and I'm going to start now. I think my ginger has come back. Okay, so I'm here. My name is Kada Agbesimi Eti, as most of you know. I'm a Tonemilu entrepreneur. I'm also the hub lead for Southwest Nigeria under the foundation. And I just decided to do this just because I needed to help people. I realized that a lot of people don't know how to apply for stock professionally. So I said, you know what, let me do this so that more people have a better chance or an increased chance of getting into the program, because I feel like this is one of the best and most amazing platforms, you know, to be on as an entrepreneur in Africa, because of the Pan-African network, the training, the mentorship, and everything else that you receive. And it's not just about the grant. So if you guys can hear me, say hi in the chat box, and you know, I'm just good to go. I'll just dive into all the questions that they usually ask, you know, during the Tonemilu Foundation, during the program. So can you guys hear me? So just say hi quickly, so that you know we just keep it moving. Let me see if I can even put my Zoom here in case persons. Hi, okay, I'm excited. People can see me. Okay, so first things first. So what is a grant? That's how I'll start. What is a grant? A grant is a non-repayable fund or product given to an individual or company for a specific purpose. So sometimes a lot of people do collect grants and they're not responsible about it because it's free money. You're not supposed to be irresponsible about it, because the next person who comes that wants to give you a grant will look at your background and see, they'll look at your account and ask you, okay, what did you use that grant for? Some people collect a grant and go and use it for their family member's wedding, or go and toast a girl, buy a car, stuff like that. That's not what you're supposed to use a grant for. A grant is supposed to, you know, help your business, you know, create some impact. And most people that give out grants are looking for people who can impact other people as well. So it's very, very important for you to use your grants responsibly. There are other options that you can use. Some people are scared of collecting grants. Some people say, am I going to pay back? Grants is actually free money. You just need to be responsible about it, and don't just go looking for grants all over the place all the time, because it can get very, very distracting, and you don't concentrate on the core of your business and actually trying to build a good, sustainable business model. So the AGS grant commandments. This was something that I formed when I was writing my book. And by the way, this is the book. Can you guys see it? This is the book. Okay, so it's called Accessing Grants for Startups. I wrote this book to help entrepreneurs across Africa access grants and other opportunities across Africa. And there are a lot of opportunities globally, so you're not even looking at just, you know, grants in Africa. There are grants also available for you that you can tap into. You just need to be able to respond professionally so that people actually look at your application when you send it in. So now, getting into the crux of it. So when you open the Tonemilu application portal and you're about to start filling out your information, the first thing you see is your introduction and personal information. So they ask you what is your name, your nationality, your gender, your date of birth, your native language, how did you hear about the program, things like that. Those things, I don't have to tell you how to respond to those kind of things. It's easy peasy, you can just respond. You now go on to the next thing. They ask you what's your contact details. Can you guys not hear me? Sorry, before I go on, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? You can hear me. Yeah, so
13 unbelievable items found out.
So yes, so you now need to put in your contact details, your educational details, your social media details. That's very important for you to have those things. It's very easy. Just put in the details. I don't need to delve too much on that. So now we're getting into the questions. They ask you, the first thing is tell us about yourself. So your personal bio, what led you to become an entrepreneur? Here, there's no need to start talking about all your family members, how you are, all of you are architects in your family, you know, things that are not important. You are limited by word count. Here is only 200 words. So respond in third person. Structure your responses into like 2 or 3 paragraphs. Mention your educational background. Talk about your skills, the skills that you have acquired as a result of these experiences. And then your last paragraph should actually focus on what led you to become an entrepreneur. So, for example, responding in third person, you're supposed to say something like, Ifedayo is a sales and marketing expert with over 10 years experience in different industries, and you know, as a result, and you know, some of the things you're passionate about are reducing poverty, you know, promoting women empowerment, stuff like that. And you know, I have a degree. So you wouldn't say you say Ifedayo has a degree in biochemistry and an MBA in global business, and she's been able to acquire these skills as a result of her experiences, and then what led me to become an entrepreneur. For me, my own time, I just said, oh, I never really wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had my daughter, and I realized that there was a gap in the market for furniture that was made in Nigeria, so that people don't have to go and start importing furniture. So I made 1 cut, and 1 cut turned into 2 cuts, and 2 cuts turned into 10 cuts. You know, my business partner and I, we just started it like that, and it started as a joke, and you know, it has turned into a business today. So if you look into it deeply, you'll see that most people start businesses because they're trying to solve a need for themselves, and you know, they realize that okay, other people actually need this. Then they now go and start doing their market research and everything, and then they now, you know, properly, you know, fund the business. Some people bootstrap, you know, some people get grants, other people take loans, you know, whatever you have to do to make the business stay afloat. So that's how you respond when they say, tell us about yourself and your personal bio, what led you to become an entrepreneur. Very, very simple English. There's no need to talk too much about things that are irrelevant. You know, there are other places where you can talk about your product, talk about your services, talk about all other things. But here, you're limited by word count, so be very, very structured. 2 or 3 paragraphs. The last paragraph, maybe it should be about 75 words. Leave it for how you actually became an entrepreneur. So I would respond to all the questions. So you guys can be writing any questions. I respond to all the questions after I go through, because there are a lot of questions. Also, now the second question they ask is your leadership skills and experience. Describe your leadership skills and experience for running the business. Every entrepreneur should have leadership skills, because that's the only way you can actually lead other people. That's the only way you can scale your business, because you cannot be doing everything by yourself. So what I would advise is Google leadership skills. You will see a list of leadership skills, things like, you know, you have to have integrity, you have to be trustworthy, you have to be able to delegate. You know, there are different leadership skills. Pick 3 and talk about them, and how you've been able to use these skills to be a good leader in your business. So you need to give an example where you've been able to lead. So don't just say, oh, I can delegate, oh, I can work in a team. You have to be able to link it to an experience. You have to give an example, and this is just 100 words, so it's not like, oh, you have to talk too much, but you need to give an example. You can use the STAR approach when you're giving your example, when you've been able to lead. It doesn't even have to also, the example does not also have to be an example in your business, because a lot of people have just business ideas, and to enable entrepreneurship program access business ideas. So it can be an example from even your old business. It can be an example from university, but I always say use a more recent example, and you know, just take it like that. Also, personal achievement. That's the next question now. Tell us something impressive that you have personally built or achieved. Here is simple. Use the STAR approach. I don't know if you guys know what STAR approach means, but STAR approach means situation, task. So T for task, A for action, and R for result. Can they see me? Can they see me? Okay. And R for result. Should I turn it? It's okay. Okay. And R for result. So for example, are people there as well? Okay, people are there. Oh, I don't feel too bad. Anyway, so use the STAR approach. For example, if I want to just think of an example at the top of my head, I'll say, okay, one time, when I was working in the sales department of a company, and then I realized that the market was saturated where I was, and then I now said, okay, I spoke to the management team. So don't say we spoke to the management team, because some people get carried away because they've told you so many times that, oh, you must be able to work as a team, so everything should be we. But now they're asking, what have you done to be a good what have you personally achieved? So you say you were the one that went to speak to the management team, and management team now agreed to be able to influence their decisions. You don't have to say I influence their decision, because from the outcomes you'll know that obviously you were able to influence their decision. So you say, oh, you spoke to the management that you should move to a new location, and then you have to convince them. So you went and started. You now maybe started 3 new locations, or you started 1 location, and other people went to go and lead different all the other locations, and then so that is action. And then the result, what happened from there? Okay, so now the company revenue increased by 150%. You can say it by 30%. It doesn't have to be ridiculous, but there should be a result, and you can now say, okay, maybe you won an award, or you got recognized by your team lead, or you got recognized by the head of the company, just so that you actually achieve that thing. And the thing is actually, you don't have to say you built a skyscraper, but at least you were able to achieve something that made an impact in your business. Okay, so that is for what you personally achieved. So going on to the next question. So now you're going now into the business questions. What is the motivation for your business? This simply means, why did you start that business? What problem are you trying to solve? Here you need to use statistics. Don't just talk about problems that are in your brain, because some people think, oh, I like bread, so I'm going to order bread. I'm going to start selling bread. People in my estate, they don't even check if the neighbor is selling bread. You don't even know if the market is already saturated. Even if the market is saturated, that doesn't mean you cannot go into that business, but you need to show that you've done your research and there's actually a market available for you to come in. So I wouldn't say start a business that other people start. I wouldn't say don't start a business because other people are already doing the business, because you can come up with something extraordinary that can actually take your business to the next level. When did Apple start? BlackBerry was making waves, and Apple came and swept us off our seats. Different things like that. The other things that come. Big Treat was popping, popping bread back in the day, but Big Treat is not popping anymore. There are other brands that were taking the market. So yeah, you can start a business, but you need to do proper research. And you need to know what problem you are solving. So here, talk about why. What was the motivation? So like I said earlier before, I said my own motivation for me to start was because when I ordered for my daughter, I realized that it was contraband. So I realized that there was a gap in the market, and I needed to solve that gap in the market. So that was the motivation for me to start my business. And you can also talk about, if you want to talk about things like sustainable development goals, there are a lot of issues that the United Nations have actually recognized as problems, and obviously they've done their research. So things like ending poverty, promoting quality education, promoting gender equality, sustainable cities and communities, life on land, protecting life on water, things like that. So if you're doing a business that can actually solve these issues, you can actually tie it to that and say, okay, this was your motivation for starting that business. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So I'm just going to go and quickly look at the chat and see if you guys are getting me. The audio is not good anymore. Yes, we're also live on YouTube, so you guys can also check YouTube. Yeah, you can see it. Okay. Yeah, you guys can hear me. Okay, so I'll continue. Okay, so the next question is, your company details. So your company name and company details. So if it's just an idea, just put a name. The truth is that I used to work, where I used to work, we had a competition called Multina Teacher of the Year, and we allocated marks for every question that was asked. So if you won an award, we'll give you 2 marks. If you did this, we'll give you 2 marks. If you answer this question and you answer it properly, we'll give you another mark. So, okay, so is there a link for YouTube? Can you send me the link so I can post it? The link for you, I can put in the thing. Can you send me the link? The link for the YouTube. Okay. Can you send it to my WhatsApp?
Sorry.
Okay, someone else has posted it. It's fine. Yeah. So if you have just an idea, put a name, because you must have thought about a name. Do you understand? And the truth is, when you even start on the Tony Miller Entrepreneurship Program, you don't have to stay there you don't have to stay with the idea that you came in with. Once you get in, even if they know that it's a good idea, maybe you did not register the business name or something, or the name is not available, you can send them a letter. They're understanding. You know, they're also investing in you, not just your business. So it's important for you to, you know, do the right thing. So just put a name there, and obviously think about the name. I'm just saying, don't go and just say Ife Enterprises, but you know, think about the name so that it shows that you put a lot of thought into it, and it's actually a business that you want to start. It's not like you just want to collect their money. So your elevator pitch. Now, for every elevator pitch is very, very short. So imagine you meet somebody on the plane. In fact, on the plane, you even have a long time on the elevator, and then you have to quickly pitch your business idea to the person. So the most essential things that should be in your elevator pitch should be that you've stated the problem, you've presented your solution. You should also explain why people should trust you, describe your value proposition, and offer a call to action. So, oh, please, can I have your card so that I can follow up? Oh, can I have your number? Or even if the person doesn't have their number, oh, can I follow you on LinkedIn? I mean, even if the person does not want to have a card, sorry, oh, can I follow you on LinkedIn? Connect immediately and ask them, oh, when can I come and see you? That should be at the end. So it's important. So for example, for like a Paliamu Bambini, I would say, oh, in 2004, Nigeria placed a ban on the importation of furniture, and as a result of that, people focused on only home and office furniture, neglecting the children's furniture industry. So because of that, I had to fill the gap for children's furniture. I'm just saying at the top of my head, and just so that you guys can understand. And from there, you now say that, oh, you've been able to serve maybe 200,000 customers, and as a result of that now, or it doesn't have to be 200,000. I'm just saying it can be any number. Just state a number, state your facts, you know, or the lives you've impacted. You've been able to impact the lives of 100 artisans as a result of your business, and now you're trying to take your business to the next level. So you need this. So if it's an investor you're writing this to, you say, oh, you need this money to be able to do, maybe to take your business to the next level by expanding your workshop, something like that. But those 5 things need to be there: the problem, your solution, why people should trust you. So why people should trust you can even be the statistics of what you've done so far. And even if you haven't done something so far, it can be the research that you've done, and then offer a call to action. So that's your elevator pitch. So now you delve more into your business. So here you have to go deeper into your product or your service, ensure that it is solving a real problem, list examples of the products that you have. So for me, for example, I'll say I have baby cribs, chest changers, wardrobes, rocking chairs, things so that they can understand, because sometimes you might think that people know what a baby crib is, or they know what baby furniture is. They don't know. You know, don't just assume. So list the actual products that you offer. Or they might think, oh, it's plastic cribs, meanwhile it's wooden cribs. So just you know, explain better. And for example, if you are a photographer and you're applying for a Tony Miller Entrepreneurship Program, photography is an extremely profitable business. But for you to win a grant for that, like, you wouldn't just say, oh, you just want to open a studio. Why should I give you the money? There are people dying on the street every day. Do you understand? So it needs to be solving a real problem. So if you were going to build if you were saying that, oh, you're trying to build solar paneled cameras or something like that, because at the end of the day, people don't take pictures for their wedding. They'll cry and then they'll move on. Do you understand? You're not, like, what's the worst case that will happen if you don't actually provide that service? But if you actually have something else to offer, and you say, oh, you're trying to build this, it doesn't have to be anything crazy like, oh, this solar system I'm talking about, but just something extra, something different that they haven't heard before, and then, you know, it will sound more enticing for them to even give you a grant for, and also show that, you know, it's going to be making this impact in the community, maybe reducing poverty, sending people to school, you know, giving people food, things like that, and then people would understand why, you know, you should get a grant. Even if this grant is not just for social impact projects, but most of the time, because a lot of people are applying. Last year, over 150,000 people applied. So you can imagine how many people would apply this year. And every year it doubles. So the competition is really high. So obviously, people are most likely to take or give somebody who has more impact in their communities as opposed to people who don't. So the next question is wow us. So state what differentiates your product or service from others. Here, they're just saying, what is your unique selling proposition? This is what sets you apart as a business. So unique selling proposition is a statement that describes how your product or service is different and hopefully better than what's already in the market. You know, so, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I always use this example of Domino's. Domino's Pizza, when they came into the market, there was already Pizza Hut. They did not come out and say, oh, hello, our pizza is sweeter than Pizza Hut. It wouldn't make any sense. They came out and they said, when you order pizza, you get fresh, hot pizza delivered to you in 30 minutes. And if you don't get the pizza in 30 minutes, you get it for free. Of course, people are going to jump right at you, and their food is also sweet, or their pizza is also nice. So you can imagine people who are more time conscious, or people who are hungry now, they're the ones that will rush to Domino's, and once they taste it, then they are hooked. So that's the way they are able to grab market share. So differentiate yourself. The same thing with Delta Airways. They tell you if you don't get your suitcase in 30 minutes once you land, you get, you know, compensated maybe with miles or taxi, and that's happened to me. And they gave me a free taxi into town, and it was going to cost me over $100. I was so excited. Free taxi to town and back to the airport whenever I was going back. So you can imagine people would most likely go to use Delta Airways, especially people who are time conscious. I don't like staying in the airport for a long time when I land because I'm probably rushing for a meeting or rushing to do something. I always feel like getting home, even if I'm not going anywhere. So I'd rather not be in the airport. So as a result of that, I would rather use Delta Airways because I know that, you know, they're trustworthy. And you know, when you're rushing like that, you will now say, if you're trying to compare between Delta Airways and KLM, bruh, you will take Delta Airways as opposed to taking KLM, because you know that when you land, KLM, even if they're more affordable, and I even prefer the flight and everything, I prefer the chairs, the seats, I prefer everything with KLM, but just because I want to rush somewhere quickly, I'll probably take Delta Airways as opposed to KLM. But if I'm thinking about my pocket, you know, more pocket friendly, you know, relaxed seats and everything, I'll probably take a KLM over Delta Airways. And they're all, you know, they all work together, they're all in the same family. So that, you know, you just have to differentiate yourself. And these are products that are from the same, you know, company. They're all partners, but they've all differentiated themselves with what they are good at. So you need to also focus it on your strengths. What can you divide differently? How are you different from your competitor? How are you better? Who can you serve? Who can you grab? Are you cheaper? Are you better? Are you nicer? Are you using customer service to grab people? You know, you need to differentiate yourself. Even FedEx too, their own USPs. When it's absolutely positively sure that it has to be there overnight, use FedEx. So most times when you need something very, very quickly, you think about people like FedEx, you think about people like DHL, especially when you're doing cross-border deliveries, because they have the capacity, they've been able to get that logistics thing right, and you know, they've been able to just corner that market. And a lot of people, you know, use them back and forth for different needs, especially when it's in a hurry. But if you're looking for things that, you know, are more affordable, then you go for the smaller companies. You know, I use Jantugidi. I love them. You know, they deliver my parcels all the time very easily, no issues, no hassles, and I pick it up from my house. I cannot call a DHL because I cannot afford DHL to come to my house, come and pick up my parcel and go and deliver. So sometimes you have to just look at your pocket, see what you can offer, and from there you can grow and grow and grow and even become like a DHL. Yeah, so that's how you differentiate yourself for your product, and differentiate your product or your service from your competitors. That's how you respond there. So now you're now going into problem solved. That's the next question. What problem? Or let me quickly see questions. Okay. So can you summarize the 5 on the list? The 5 necessities in an elevator pitch. Okay. I'm coming. So for your elevator pitch, you need to state the problem, you need to present your solution, you need to explain why people should trust you, and you need to describe your value proposition and offer a call to action. Those are the 4 things that make your elevator pitch, make it sound solid. And you can rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it till, you know, you really get it written out properly and continue to practice it. So now, what problem is your product or service solving? Here again, use statistics. Don't just use what information is in your head. So you can say something like 60% of teachers are, let's say for example, like a multinational teacher of the when we're starting, when we did research, we found out that a lot of teachers were just in teaching just because they did not have other job options or other things to do. So some of them were not even registered, some of them did not have their TRCN number. So we did the research and we saw that over 60% of teachers didn't have these details. So a lot of teachers were not even motivated, they were not teaching properly, which is one of the reasons why the standards of education are dropping in Nigeria. So we came up with a project that could actually solve this problem and to actually motivate teachers to do better, which was Multinational Teacher of the Year. So there is straight up. You can just talk about it. 50% of teachers, 50% of, or you can talk about the problem, so which is the poor educational system in the country, and then this is the solution that you're trying to solve. Simple and short, 50 words, you don't need to talk too much, but then you need to use statistics. You can check the National Bureau of Statistics, or you can just Google it and then different links will come up. Use the most credible source. So if I see all these other sources, if I see Euromonitors, I'm definitely going to go for Euromonitors than a Bushy & Co, that just put it up. So obviously look for the most credible source and link it to that problem that you're trying to solve. Also, the next question now is, what state are you in terms of development? So which most accurately describes your product or your service? Are you in the idea stage? Are you testing? Are you in infancy, which is like market growth, or are you in the growth phase of your business? Just tick one. Is simple and is easy to explain. Yeah. So problems again, talk about the SDGs. Google the SDGs, check the United Nations website, look at all the problems that are there. There are 17 goals that are supposed to be met. Pick one and link it to your problem. Most of the time, most businesses, even if you did not think about it before you started, you can link most businesses, even if it's just to linking the promoting decent work and economic growth. You can link it to that, because you're obviously going to provide employment if you scale and all of that. So most businesses are solving at least that, and then you cannot talk about the others. Industry sector and subsector, that's self-explanatory. I wouldn't go into that. Your company structure, so here you just talk about if your company is registered, if you have business partners, when you started, your role, and your employees, how many employees you have. So now we're getting into more technical questions. What is your market size? So how big is your market size of your product or service? A lot of people don't really know how to calculate their market size, and because they do not really say, oh, what's your total addressable market, people don't really know that that's what they're actually asking. So here they're asking you straight up, what is your total addressable market? And your total addressable market is a metric that is used for startups and existing companies to use to estimate the potential scale of their market. So for example, and it's usually expressed in currency. So your total addressable market should be expressed in maybe let's say in the billions of dollars. I'm not saying you should go and lie if it's just millions, but billions of dollars, that means it's actually a market. So there are 3 ways to calculate this. There is top down, which is just using industry research and stuff and reports to just say, when they just say, oh, okay, 90 million people are living in poverty. Some people just use that and just say, oh, okay, if my product is actually catering to mass market, so my total addressable market is just 90 million people times how much you're selling your product, which is not really effective. But people use it, and it can actually give you an idea of the markets, but not the closest. Bottom up is using data from early selling efforts. So for example, I'll go into detail with that because that's the one I prefer to use. And then there is value theory, which is using conjecture about buyers' willingness to pay. So I'll explain the bottom up style. So if you have a software, for example, if you're a software startup that is selling human capital, like a human capital or any software anyway, at let's say $20 per employee per month. So you can easily calculate your total addressable market by taking the number of employees in its target market. And this data can easily be found. So you can just check online, like, okay, how many people are employed within this age range and all that, and then write it down. And then you can now say, okay, you're going to calculate that number by the amounts that you're selling. So let's say you're selling it at the $20. You just calculate that by $20, and then you can estimate how many your potential size of the market will be. It doesn't mean that that's the actual, but at least you can estimate that. So that's how I calculate it. So for example, for a Palambabini, I'll say I'll calculate my TAM by estimating the total number of babies born in the middle class households and multiply it by the number of cots, the amount of a cut. So let's say a cut is 130,000 naira. I always calculate it or convert it to dollars, because most investors and all that, they can easily understand when they see dollars. In naira, when you're doing billions of dollars and you want to convert it to naira, it's just too much for the calculator. So it's easier to explain it, in dollars. So that's how you can explain how you can how big your market size is. And it will also tell you whether it's even a good market to go into. If the market size is just maybe people in your estate, there's no point doing that market, because you're not going to scale. You cannot scale to other parts of the country. You cannot scale to other parts of the city. So it's important to be able to do that calculation and understand what is in it for you if it's a profitable business. The next thing that on the question is, what's your revenue model? So what ways will your business make money? This is very simple. So are you selling? Are you selling maybe cuts? Are you going to be advertising? Are you going to be doing just different things, different ways you can make money? So like if, for example, Bella Naija would say they make money through advertising, and I'm sure that there are other ways that they can make revenue. Are you training? So are you training other bloggers, for example, to come and start blogging? That's another revenue stream. So these are the different ways you can do. Or are you manufacturing for somebody else? Are you renting? Those are revenue streams that you can do. So if you're a caterer and you have plates and you're not using the plates, you can say, okay, on this so and so days I'm going to rent on my plates. That's another revenue stream. So you just list out all the revenue streams that you have. It's always nice to have more than one, so that if one is not working, the second one would work. The second thing is, the next thing now is, what's your marketing strategy? Explain how you intend to, or how you already do your market, how you already market your products or your services to your target market. I believe that anybody that is applying for Tonumelu is still a small business, still an SME. So most of the time here, the most relevant thing to say is you do social media, referrals, door-to-door marketing, influencer marketing. Those are some of the things you do. But if you are a bit bigger, you can say you do radio and TV. But these are just ways that you reach your market. And you explain it, oh, okay, you have so and so number on social media, door-to-door sales. You've been able to reach so and so number through door-to-door. You have so and so influencers who are working with your brand, just so that you fill out the words. You don't just list out these examples. So the next question now is your competitors. Who are your competitors or your benchmark organizations? It's so funny that some people feel like they don't have competitors. Like sometimes I don't even get it. You ask some people. I've seen some forms, and some people send me forms to help them check out before they submit, and they just write, "Oh, I don't have any competitor," or "I'm the only one in the industry." How is that possible? It is impossible. Like, you can't be the only person in the market. For me now, even though we were the first to start baby furniture in Nigeria, like locally producing it, like our own label and everything, I cannot just say that I'm the only one doing it. There are local carpenters that can compete with me. There are people who are still importing as well. So, you need to list them. So for us, in my time, I just put Mothercare, because there's a Mothercare in Nigeria. I put, some of these other companies that are in Nigeria that are importing. So even if and I put the local carpenters, because those are potentially competitors. So you need to think about, who can you compare your business with, or your idea with, if it is not yet a business? Who is already doing what you plan to do? Who will you be competing with directly, and who already owns the market share? So those are sort of questions you ask yourself when you're listing this out, and you just need to list it. It's not a big deal, pretty much. Your business threats. What are your short-term? This is the next question. This is a serious one, because Here you'll be able to, you know, shift to people that don't really understand business, and you know, you'll be able to recognize people that understand business. What are your business threats? And you know, what are the business threats that your business faces? The only reason why I even know how to, because this question was not there when we did our application. So the only reason why I really know how to answer this question is because I have an MBA. I'm not saying that if you don't have an MBA, you don't have sense. So, but here the easiest way to analyze your threats, I think, is when you use or some of the threats that your business may face to make it look very professional. You can use person analysis. Person analysis is like a framework, is a tool that marketers use to analyze or monitor macro, which is external. So macro environmental factors that can have an impact on your organization. Do you understand that one? Let me just go back to see the comments. I hope you guys can hear me. Time is per product, so like just when you're calculating it. So can I have the charger from my phone? Eh? No, I want to plug it here. You can bring it. No, my phone. Yes, so okay, people are saying I should add the YouTube link to my Instagram. Oh Jesus. I'll go back to the how you can analyze your threats. How come we have only 125 participants? How many do we have on YouTube? Let me check. 25. 117. Okay. Ooh la la. Anyway, let me just continue. I don't even think I can type any comment in this group. Okay, I can. Oh, sugar. Sorry. Oh. Mistake. Okay, so I'll just continue. So business threats. So use personal analysis to analyze your business threats, and you can also use Porter's 5 forces to understand your internal threats. So what is personal analysis? So P stands for political, E stands for economic, S stands for social, T stands for technological, L stands for legal, and E stands for environmental. So, for example, the things that you can consider that can be a threat. So, a lot of people are scared now. What's the political situation in the country and how can it affect my industry? Yes, those are some of the things. So, change in government can actually affect your business. You know, your business that was already thriving before, you were having contracts from governments. Once your business once the government changes, it's a wrap. You don't have any business anymore, any contract anymore. So, that's some of the things that can affect your business. You can list it down. Also, what are the prevalent economic factors? Is the inflation rate very high? It really affect, for example, if you are somebody that is importing goods, if the inflation rate is high and you're importing, or the exchange rate is fluctuating, is it going to affect you? This is another thing that you can list out as some of the threats for your business. And how much importance does culture affect your business? Is culture a huge determinant in your business? So are people, you know, moving from mobile phones, or are people moving from, let's say, YouTube to Instagram, for example? Is your business primarily on YouTube? Those are some of the social changes that can affect your business, you know, depending on what your business is. What technological innovations are likely to pop up in the market? So, for example, there was a customer or somebody that I knew who wanted to have like an influencer community, and you know, that was the business she was going to do. And then 3 months down the line, somebody called me and said, oh, they wanted to build an app that could cut off the middleman. So instead of you going to meet that person who has this influencer community, people can actually interact with their influencers directly. And I was like, oh my God, this person was going to literally cancel out this other person. So I tried to, like, you know, bring them together so that they could collaborate. But those kinds of things can actually affect your business. You know, if a new competition comes out with something that can knock your business out, you know, are there any current legislations that can regulate the industry, or can there be any changes in the legislations for the industry? So for example, the way baby cuts, people used to import it before, and then government placed a ban. You know, people that were importing before, they will have serious issues because the prices will go up, because some people will still smuggle some things in, but those are issues that can actually affect your business. You know, also, what are the environmental concerns for the industry? That can also affect your business. So if Nigeria says, for example, now nobody should own a car again because, you know, the environment or the atmosphere is polluted, what are you going to do? People that are selling cars, they're going to be out of business. Or you know, things like that. They're just things that different things that you can look at and, you know, see how they can affect your own businesses. Porter's 5 Forces is a tool that lets you understand the competitiveness of your business environment for identifying your own potential, your own strategy for potential profitability. So Porter's 5 Forces, what are the main components? Competitive rivalry, so number and strength of your competitors. Are there a lot of people fighting for that same market share? You know, things like that. Your supplier power. Do your suppliers have more power? The more suppliers you have, the more you can easily switch from one supplier to another, so that your suppliers cannot really do shakara for you. Not that you have only one supplier that is supplying you. So maybe you found somebody, maybe Jericho, for example, and then he's supplying this particular wood that is so amazing, just like I cannot find anywhere else. That supplier can change it for you anytime. You know, can just come and say, oh, now it's $100 before you used to buy it for $1. You know, and that can affect your business. So it's important to have, you know, alternatives that you can choose from, so that you have, you know, the higher power. Also, your buyer power. When you deal with only a few savvy customers, they have more power, but your power increases if you have many customers. So if you have many customers, it's better for you. If you don't, you know, that can also affect your business. Threats of substitution. Is it easy for people to just switch from MTN to Glo? You know, the way they came up with this switching SIM and all that, those kinds of things can also affect your business. So because one person brought it up, like MTN, you know, Glo had to comply and the other ones had to comply, but it now became, people were switching for fun. You know, those sort of things can affect your business. That's threats of substitution. And also threats of new entry. So is it easy for people to just enter your business? Is it something that has, you know, high capital, you know, for the people to start? So for example, you cannot just wake up one day and say you want to go and start a Flutterwave. All the regulations and everything, you probably need over 1 billion naira to start something like Flutterwave. So for that one, the threat of entry is low. But for you that you're just doing, you know, you're just selling phones, for example, if you have small money to buy 3 phones, you sell the 3 phones, you use to buy 5 phones, and then, you know, from there you can increase. So for that kind of business, your threat for entry is high, because maybe things like your capital is not as much to enter the market. There are no people regulating the industry, things like that. Anybody can just enter. You don't need a lot of things to be able to start that kind of business. People that are in the food industry, for example, you need NAFDAC. That one alone can put a lot of people away. You know, what are the regulatory things that you have to do to be able to start that business or scale that business? You know, those are the kind of things that you can look into, and you know whether, you know, these things are a big deal, and you know the threats that can actually affect your business. So I'm sure that one is, you guys can understand that. Let me quickly look at some questions. Quickly. Oh, Jesus. Eh? So many questions dropping. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, so do you guys understand? Pestle, so pestle analysis, pestle. If people are on my Instagram, I think that they would already see this Zoom app, so it would be easy for them to join using Zoom. So I don't think there's any need for me to put it again. What do you guys think? to put the YouTube. Except somebody can quickly help me do it. It's clearer. Okay, let me quickly put it and say on YouTube. Oh my God. No. It's not only for people who are sourcing materials locally. People who are importing can also get the grant. It doesn't matter. Okay, I've posted it. Okay, so what could be a threat to skincare brands? If they say you cannot import, okay, organic skincare brands. It depends. I'll have to sit down and think about what can threaten you. If they say that, oh, maybe one ingredient that you are using is banned, you know, I don't know. Different things can affect, but I have to sit down and think about it. I'm not in that industry, so it'll be difficult for me to just think about it at the top of my head. Okay, so I think that's for the threats for your business. So differentiating factors, this is the next question. What differentiates you from other existing businesses in your field? This is very similar to the question where they say, wow us. So here you can just describe your USP again, and you can also say something like, oh, maybe you live by your core values and your business model is based on transparency, you know, things like that. So that's a bit different from what you wrote in the wow us, but you also need to just state in one sentence your USP, and then you can add other things here. What is your current milestone? So what stage is your business at currently? So for example, you can say, oh, you've built a website and you have so number of followers on social media. Like, don't think that something is too small. Like anything that you've achieved, you can even say something like, oh, you've just registered the business. You know, you have 10 customers, something like that. So what stage is your company at? And then the next question is now, what is your next milestone? So you can say, oh, okay, maybe you want to get a showroom, you want to get a shop, you want to build an app, you want to expand your workshop. There are just different things that you can say here as well that, you know, they will know that, okay, you have a plan for your business. Your financials, we're almost at the end. The financials. Okay, here they ask you things like what's your lifetime revenue, your monthly expenses, your break-even volume, your break-even revenue, and your sources of capital. So, for example, how much have you put in since you started? How much in total have you sold since you started? Expenses mean what are you spending your money on, you know, to run the business? For example, rent, salary, you know, things like that. So I'll just delve more into those individual topics. Okay, so break-even volume. Break-even volume means how many of your products do you have to sell to give you the revenue that equals to your expenses. So for example, to produce 100 bags of Gary, maybe you need 500,000 naira. So break-even volume means that when you make back that 500,000 naira, so in this case, you put the value as 500,000 naira as your break-even volume. Do you understand that? So if you need 100 bags of Gary 100 bags of Gary
you need, to produce 100 bags of gari, you need 500,000 naira. To break even revenue means that when you make back that 500,000 naira, you've gotten that break. So how many do you have to sell to be able to get that break even volume? To get that break even revenue. Then the next thing is your break even volume. Break even volume is used to measure how soon you can recover the cost of production and how many units you need to sell. So for example, let's say you have 500,000 and this can produce another maybe 10 bags of eggs, and that is your cost of production. This means how many bags in terms of volume, like number, will you need to sell to break even to break that volume. So if you sell one bag, for example, for 15,000 naira, it means that after you will break even after selling 34 of those bags. Do you understand? So that means when you sell the remaining 66, that will be your profit. So that means your break even volume is 34. That's the number that you need to sell to be able to get that amount. So that's your break even volume. So ask an accountant is always good, because some people just put different numbers here and it wouldn't make sense. And the kind of people who are marking these scripts are people who are skilled. So if you are lying, they can tell. Do you understand? So for this section, I would say, it's better to ask an accountant so that they can see that, okay, what you've written, makes sense. Next question, or next set of questions, have to do with the impact. So describe what impacts your business will have within your community or country for job creation, revenue generation, or social development. So like what I've been saying from the beginning of this, impact is very, very important for anybody, not just even Tony Elumelu Foundation. Anybody who is giving you a grant to grow your business, scale your business, they need to know that you're making an impact. So you talk about the number of people you would employ as a result of, let's say, you're producing stuff locally. You can say that. Another example can be like the communities are kept clean as a result of your company educating people on cleanliness and rewarding them for cleaning. So people like Eco Prune, Recycle Points, they're doing a good job with that, And both of them actually Tony Elumelu entrepreneurs. So if they see that your business is actually making this sort of impact, they're more likely going to select you. And another example can be, my production hub will have tremendous impact on the country, as it will reduce unemployment rate, interest into also promote African enterprise, contribute to GDP, discourage importation, things like that. So you can list it out, and here you have 200 words to really, really explain your impact. And you can see that's 200 words, that means that this will probably have a high score if you respond to this question properly. And the better your impacts, the better you have an increased chance of being selected. What's the impact of the program? So how do you intend to leverage the 7 pillars of the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program to leverage your business? Firstly, you first need to even go and Google the 7 pillars of the program. So the 7 pillars are Startup Enterprise Toolkit, which is like the 12-week training for entrepreneurs. Then there is online mentoring. There is like an online resource library. We have entrepreneur meetups. We have the entrepreneurship forum. We have the seed capital, which is the grants that you get. And then you have access to an alumni network. These things, you cannot even buy it in the market. Like, trust me, beyond the grant, all these other things, have, impacted who I am today. So you need to really explain how you can use these pillars to scale maybe your business across Africa, or maybe because being part of the network, you have access to like a Pan-African network. You want to take your business to other parts of Africa. You also want to use funds to expand your business. You need to be able to explain how these pillars are going to help you improve your business. So you want to learn more about how to be a better leader. You want to learn more how to be a better business person. All these things listed here. You have 200 words to also explain yourself properly. You want to know how to handle your finances better. You want to go through the training. You want to really, really, be part of this alumni network because of the opportunities that come from being a part of that network. Here you just need to really prop the ego of the Tony Elumelu Entrepreneurship Program, because they've put a lot of money into this thing, a lot of their heart into this thing, a lot of different things into this thing for it to work. So you need to really make them big in the head when you're explaining how these things are going to impact your business. Also, the next question talks about your challenges. What are the top 3 challenges you face in operating or launching your business? Here, most of our challenges as entrepreneurs, especially in Nigeria or in Africa, are the same. So things like talent management is very difficult to fight. For example, in my field, it's very difficult for you to find experts in carpentry. Funding is also an issue when it's time to scale your business. At the beginning, it's not bad when you're bootstrapping and all that. But when it's time to scale in the manufacturing sector, you need a whole lot of money. And funding is an issue because Nigeria is already even difficult when it comes to manufacturing, because you have all other things you have to face, like light issues, road issues, things like that. So that alone can even, stop you from launching or scaling your business. So just list these issues. Maintaining the quality, the same quality as you are scaling. Those are some of the issues that can affect your business. So you can just list your top 3. But I know that talent management is always an issue. Like Nigerians, it's always difficult for us to find talent for our business, especially when you're still small. You can't really afford to pay the kind of people that you want to be working with you. Another question, your aims and objectives. Explain briefly what you hope to achieve from participating in the Tonoable Entrepreneurship Program. So here again is like a twist now, because now you need to expatiate on the 7 pillars of the Tonoable Entrepreneurship Program again. So you can say stuff like, participating in the program will give me the skills I need to be a better person, make better business decisions. Participating in the program can give me an opportunity to be connected to 5,000 like-minded individuals, and this opportunity will give you opportunity to collaborate as well. So things like that. You just need to tweak. So what the 7 pillars before is like you're reiterating it again, but saying it in a different way, because obviously that's what they're offering. So that's what you say you hope to achieve from the foundation. So it's as simple as that. A new question that they've also brought on board is, what does Africapitalism mean to you? Here you need to talk about it in 200 words. So the first thing I would say to you is to go and first Google what Africapitalism means. So Africapitalism was actually coined by Tonu Elumelu by himself, and he said that it is predicted that on the belief that Africa's private sector must play a leading role in the continent's development. So it is a call to action for businesses to make decisions that will increase economic and social wealth, promote development in communities and nations in which they operate. So he's pretty much saying, the private sector, they cannot just be waiting for government to do everything. You need to get up and do things. And even you as a small business, don't think that you're just going to be waiting for big businesses like the Nestle and all those kind of people to fix the issues that we have as a country. You yourself can also contribute to developing your country. So you need to explain what this means to you. It also means that, we cannot leave, things to philanthropists and all those kind of things, donor countries. We have enough to also help ourselves. It's not a lot, but we can still do something to contribute to developing Africa. So what are you going to do? How are you going to contribute? What is your own contribution? Discuss this. It can be through job creation. It can be through education. Again, going back to the Sustainable Development Goals. What are you doing to contribute to these things, to contribute to a better Africa? What are you going to do? What are the things that you're going to do? So just discuss it. This also has 200 marks. It has also 200 words. So you can see that it means a lot. If you cannot see yourself contributing to Nigeria's economy, if you're not paying your taxes, there's no way. Like you have to be doing these things. So let's talk about how Africapitalism, what it means to you and how you're going to contribute to Africapitalism. Also, the next question is there any additional information you wish to share to support your application? Please do so in a video link. And they now put it there that, oh, okay, it's not compulsory. This is very compulsory. Like, I'm not saying that you must answer all the questions. There's no reason why you should leave any space. Submit a link and make sure your video is professionally done. This question alone will separate the top people from the people that would not really make it. If I see a video, the video is clear, the quality is good, I understand what this person is doing, and they've even given you the opportunity to do like up to a 5-minute video, don't joke with this part. It's very, very important. It is, for me, this is the icing on the cake. You know, some people might just see your face, or the person marking it can just see your face and just like you, and just say, okay, well, obviously you must have answered the other questions properly. You never know what they will look at and just like, okay, this person looks like they know what they're doing. Your video is very, very important. Get your professional to help you do the video. You know, I also have a webinar where I have taught people, I spoke about it like for like 2 long hours, how to do a video pitch. You know, if you want the webinar, you can buy it. The link is also in my bio. It's 75, the replay. It will teach you how to do a professional video, and you know, it can also increase your chances of winning the grant. 1-minute video, like I've said before, competitions, get your professional to do it. Make sure you communicate the problem and your solution. Use statistics as well to make your company look good. So things like number of revenue, amount in revenue, your customers. Some people are scared, but you know, you have to put these things so that people can know that, you know, you actually even have real customers. You know, you can also use the statistics to show the problem, like I said earlier. Don't forget to state how much you need and what you'll be using the money for. Or even here, we already know how much they're going to give you. So just talk about what you're going to use the money for. Show images of your products. Go to your workshop, go to your shop, get people to wear your products. You can even get testimonials from some of your customers. You have 5 minutes. You can use it. In my video, 1-minute video, I still got a customer to talk about our product. You know, so get a customer to talk about a product. You know, make it look very, very good. Use some makeup as well. Don't form, oh, naturalista, I don't want to do any makeup. If that's what you're selling, that's fine, you know, but just look very, very presentable. Even if you don't have makeup, pack your hair nicely, look nice. Let people see you and want to you know, communicate with you. You know, sometimes I've seen video pictures where people are laying down on the bed, they are holding a dog or they're holding a teddy bear, they are sleeping. It doesn't make any sense. You're not collecting this money from your boyfriend or your family member. It's important for you to be able to do things very, very professionally so that, you know, you can increase your chances of winning this competition. Also, I wouldn't even call it a competition, winning or being selected in this program. Video pitches mistakes. Speaking too fast. Don't speak too fast. You even have 5 minutes, so there's even no need to rush. Don't use too much technical terms. You feel like, oh, maybe when you talk too technical, you sound very intelligent. It makes no sense. Don't use that. Don't use too many acronyms. Speak in full. You know, I'm not saying TEF. I'm saying Tony Elumelu Foundation, because don't assume that everybody understands what you're saying. Don't use slangs. Be focused. Practice what you're going to say. Obviously, you're using a professional, I would assume, I hope. So it's important for you to be able to do. They'll be able to edit when you're messing up and all that. But just be natural. Do you understand? Don't be too robotic. Those are some of the mistakes that people make. And I think that brings me to the end of this session. So now I'll just be answering questions. And okay, questions on YouTube. So I have to go to the YouTube page. So let me just open that link. Copy. I feel so bad, man. Jesus, like. I can't find the link. Oh. So you guys, please let me know what you learned. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you really enjoyed it. So please give me a shout out on your Instagram. Let me know what you thought about this session. Someone said, will you entertain questions after this meeting? I'll try, but obviously I still have my own business to run. Also, I help people review applications, but that comes as with a fee. So you can slide into my DM if you want me to review your application for you. But I'm sure I've given you enough tips to be able to excel very, very well at this application. You can also order my book. It's very, very comprehensive. Everything I've spoken about today are all in my book. You can order it from, you can send me a DM and I'll respond. I can see people already sending me messages. Let me go to my YouTube or the YouTube to see what questions they have there. Oh, how many people do we have on YouTube? It's okay. Oh, it's unavailable. It's not showing. The YouTube link is not showing. Change it. No, change it. Oh, the Zoom people will even see you. It's okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so where are the questions? Hmm? It's not. I think we should just close it. Wait. We've turned it off. Okay, it went off. Jesus. Okay, we can. I think we should just turn it off. Can turn it off now. All right, thank you everyone. I think I'll just go off now. Someone said, do entrepreneurs in the beauty industry stand a chance? Of course, we have even makeup artists as some of the entrepreneurs. What do we write as location on an online website startup? Your house address now. Where did you register with CAC? That's what you put, your house address. Can you kindly explain what valid position means? I don't really understand that question. Who should our referees be? Your referee can be anyone, but I always say that it's better for somebody in your industry to be your referee. Can you share the replay of this video? I'm not sure I can do that. Like, I'm not sure. You were really fast, but I got some things, and I'm grateful for the effort. Thank you very much. Would you call Abia State a rural area? It depends on where you are in Abia State. So if you're in the urban area, then you're in the urban area. If it's rural, then it's rural. Please, how do you measure break even with a service that doesn't have a fixed rate? With a service that doesn't have a fixed rate, I think you should just use one of your products or an average of your products to be able to calculate it. Larry, okay, break even volume. Let me go to my slide. So break-even volume is used to measure how soon you can recover the cost of production and how many units you need to sell. So for example, let's say you have 500,000 naira and this can produce 10 bags of cement. You understand? So that's the cost of production. This means how many bags, or like how many in terms of quantity we'll be able to sell to be able to make that 500,000 that you have spent. So if you sell one bag of cement at 15,000 naira, that means it will take you will break even after selling 34 of those bags. So that means your 66 remaining bags will be your profit and your break even volume is 34. Do you understand? I wish I could even hear you guys. Do you understand, Larry? You can slide into my DM. What's the yardstick for determining what state your business is in? They actually explained it. If you look at the application form, they'll tell you, is it in the growth phase, is it in the, you would know. Your revenue can also tell you how much you've made. After the selection, how long does it take to get the funds? It depends. When we did ours, I think we got selected in March and we got our funding in December. So you need to go through everything from the training, the mentorship, the forum, which is in October. So immediately after the forum, they start, dispersing the funds. Do you answer the question as though it is existing already? How do you mean? Oh God, this was seriously something. Okay, so thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. I'll try to do another one because I know that today was just a hassle and I couldn't really speak to a lot of people. So maybe I'll try to do another one tomorrow so that everybody can join and I'll explain it again. So thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you. Like I said earlier, if you want me to help review your application, just let me know and you can slide into my DM. Thank you. Bye.